Why do? Pulls the dress down. No! Where's the arse? I've been gone. There's boobs! Boobs! I hate they're my worst! No! Right, sorry, Carl.
Cavemen, right?
Yeah. Back to it. Doesn't drop a beat, does he?
Do you know, like, when you get a bit scared, and the hairs on your back and that sort of go up?
Well, I haven't got a particularly hairy back, but go on.
No, but on your neck or whatever.
Yeah.
On your head. Do you know... not on your police, but... Do you know where that comes from? Do you know why that happens?
Why it happens?
Yeah.
To look more fierce.
Yeah.
Probably residue of like the erectile tissue would make you look apes, and that would make you look slightly bigger, your outline bigger. Is that it? Is that the answer?
Just cavemen in front of dinosaurs and that, they sort of went, oh. And then...
Well, it wasn't cavemen in front of dinosaurs, was it? Because cavemen weren't alive when dinosaurs were alive.
There was a couple knocking about.
Right, okay, fair enough.
There was a crossover point, surely.
Not dinosaurs like
15 million. What's the... yeah, probably the Ice Age. There were still big reptiles.
I think it's fairly common knowledge that the dinosaurs did not exist.
Well, who gave the dinosaurs a name?
Well, no. Well, no. He's using cavemen as any genus of Homo. I know he's thinking of the Flintstones, but I'm giving him an instep into evolution here. But
I should just point out, cavemen didn't have cars which they motored by running along the street,
and they didn't mix cement in pelicans.
You're aware of that?
Go on, Carl.
Should we have the Rockbusters answers? We've got to get that out of the way.
I'd love to. Number one was, don't be stealing my tools. Take your sisters. The initials were NK. That was Nick Ersall, right?
Nick Ersall?
Nick Ersall, 80s.
I don't know. I've never heard that band.
Nick Kershaw.
Nick Kershaw, yeah. Nick... sorry, what? I don't understand it. Nick... How does Nick Kershaw...
Second one.
No, don't move on! Nick Ersall! What's Nick Ersall?
Jesus.
All right.
It doesn't count. It's not a clue.
Let's just leave it behind us, all right?
Second one was buy it if you want. I'm not bothered. You can think about it, come back, have a look around, think it over. I'm not fussed. The initials were SC. That was soft sell, right?
That works.
Yeah.
Well done.
That works.
Right. And that's good. I can play Tumping Bowling again. That's O. That's Outcast. All right.
What
does that mean? Outcast?
You broke your arm, no? Got the cast.
That's ridiculous.
That's ludicrous.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
You broke your arm, you were in a cast, you got rid of the cast, you're outcast.
Did anyone get that?
Yeah.
I mean, I am stunned.
I think, to be fair, that was because how many bands begin with O?
Yeah.
I think that's why people got it.
Exactly. But they were guesses, yeah. I could probably make Oasis work if I tried hard enough.
We've done that.
Like me.
So, Outcast.
That's ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
But it's ridiculous.
We've had worse than
that.
Imagine that. I remember when I did my wrist in, then it fixed, I went Tumping Bowling.
Why did you do your
So it's what you did. Brilliant. So next week's quiz is what am I thinking? You're an idiot, Carl. Play a record.
Why did you do your wristing?
Crash.
A what?
A crash.
You had a crash?
Yeah.
That sounds like a story we've not explored.
Not much to it. I just went on a free sort of rally day. Got in this car. I'd been working all night, right? So I wasn't the best condition to be whizzing around the track in a car.
Sure.
Like a Formula 1 type car.
Yeah.
Spun out of control, hit some mud, smashed it all in, wrote it off, and I didn't realise I'd done a load of damage until...
Well, you landed on your head, but you were fine.
Yeah.
Who's the winner?
Mike Godwin. Bad time from the Jayhawks on XFM 104.9. Steve Merchant, Ricky Gervais, Carl.
We're having a good time.
We are indeed.
All right. Carl, what have you got lined up for us now?
Right, well, you've got a choice.
Nearly dead?
You can have a bit of educating.
Yeah, let's have educating. Come on.
Educating Ricky. Can we just clarify what this is? I think a lot of new listeners perhaps aren't familiar with this.
It's when Carl looks on the internet and finds a weird story about, the double knob. fun, and tells me about it, and it's usually not true.
Okay.
If it is true, I know it already. Go on then, Carl.
They're not really weird stuff, it's just stuff that's gone on. That's interested me, that's all it's about, and I educate about it.
I should just confirm that we've had a number of emails that say the baby born without a knob and then having one transplanted from a baby that luckily enough had 2 knobs is apparently true.
Listen. I don't question that you could be born with a deformity and get someone's, fingers, knobs. What I'm saying is, it didn't happen with the doctor goes, I'll leave with it. I don't believe it. That baby's got 2 knobs.
Exactly.
What a coincidence. I bet that little bit of information isn't in there, is it?
Sure.
That he went out the door and get a coffee, came back, bloody hell, hold on, look, there's an extra knob, I found an extra knob. We'll put that knob on there. Perfect.
Right, well you've opted for the headline, it nearly died. Right?
Yeah.
It's about this elephant.
Yeah.
80 years old, in Africa. Right, it's had quite a good life and that. But then what happens is, I don't know what it's been eating, but his teeth fall out. Yeah,
that's what most elephants die of that, because they grind them down, the teeth, until they can't chew anymore, and most elephants of dying of old age with an elephant is the fact that you haven't got teeth anymore.
Well, he's had a good innings, it was 80.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway...
They used to pop the food up and feed it to it, and it lived quite happily?
No, what they did was, the village got together, said,
shoot the food for
that's
it.
sad, isn't it? Made it some false teeth. Made it some teeth. Out of wood. Wooden teeth. This elephant, that's 80. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true, I mean...
No, forget that. You've been proved wrong once. It is true. What do you think about that?
Carl, it's like saying, my Auntie Nora saw a ghost. What do you think about that? There's no comment. I can't comment on it.
Would you have gone to the trouble, is what I'm saying?
To build an elephant to
It's 80. It's 80.
Yeah.
With all the problems Africa's got and that, and they're messing about making teeth for an elephant.
What problems has Africa got?
Well, there's not enough food to go around, so if an elephant's dead, that's a bit more food left. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're assuming this is in the middle of a village where there was famine and starvation. It might have been South Africa, Kenya. You don't know. It's not all Ethiopia.
If it was a busy city, people in the village wouldn't have time to be messing about with making teeth and that, would they? It was a little village.
Yeah.
And local elephant.
The local elephant, like a local post office. I'll meet you by the elephant.
No, to be fair, Rick, I think I saw Bob Geldof on TV saying, please, people, stop making elephants' teeth. They are eating all the food. We're sending it over there.
F the number. Where's the teeth? I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible they made this elephant some dentures. It is possible.
Wouldn't it have been easier to just
pulp it?
Exactly. Fresh it up, serve it some soup or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make it its teeth, it's really. So I'd have thought I wouldn't have thought it would work for very long, and I wouldn't have thought the elephant would understand that it was teeth. So I wouldn't have been able to thought that the villagers could do it. I mean, top veterinary surgeons could have done something, but I think they made it all goodwill. But I don't want to thought it worked, so they probably ended up dying or pulping it like I suggested. But thanks very much. Play a record.
No, but didn't you say something about wooden teeth? Someone had wooden teeth.
I don't know, I think that was possibly my grandparents.
They had wooden teeth?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was wooden. I think the palate was wood, and then the teeth were as you would normally
That's like from the 16th century, though, isn't it?
Well, it was the 1940s.
They used to hammer them in without anaesthetic.
Really?
Yeah. Just put into the roots so it wouldn't... Oh, God.
That's a rubbish time, isn't it? To live.
And under the people's teeth, obviously dead people's teeth, you could replace it, just bang it in for a while. Oh, God, unbelievable. Oh, dear. Play a record, Carl.
If you've had teeth hammered into your gums...
English Summer Rain on XFM 104.9. Right, okay, you got the final educating Ricky, Carl?
Get a load of this court case.
Yeah.
What happened was, right,
allegedly.
Fella's in court for something that he shouldn't have done, right?
Yeah. You got all the detail then at your fingertips.
And the jury says, he's guilty. right? And the judge went, what, he's not guilty, off you go then, right? He misheard it. They couldn't do anything about it, because once the judge has sort of said, you're not guilty, off you go, you can go home. And the jury were like, what are you doing? They said he's guilty. I was like...
What do you think of the Thorns album?
I'm quite a big fan of it. Yeah, I like that sort of alt country sound. I
know. I like a compilation you made me. That was
that sort of thing.
Really good. The Jayhawks. Thanks for that, by the way.
There was the Anglian one, wasn't there? There was the Anglian one that happened.
Are you still there?
What bands have you been checking out recently? Any new things?
Just exploring all kinds of stuff. Obviously, I like dipping back into the old stuff. I'll tell you, I've been appreciating a lot recently with Billy Bragg.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
Great guy.
Isn't he playing
He's playing in March. Yeah, you might want to try.
You heard about the Anglian one when the fellow was...
Sorry, mate. Go on.
When the fellow was hung. He was hung and...
Sorry, what's hung?
He was hung by a rope.
So isn't that... No, I think it was... Wasn't he a Chinese emperor? And wasn't he hung?
Yeah.
Sorry, he was hung.
Some fella who'd done something, the hunging.
It's not a word anymore. He was hung.
Well, don't be doing that again, because you said squoze wasn't a word, and then I showed you a menu today that someone sent, and it said fresh orange.
Yeah.
Squoze.
In inverted commas, and next to it was the word colour, spelt C-O-L-O-R. So, presumably either American menu, right, in which case there's loads of American words that we don't use, or it's just a badly typed piece of work. Anyway, there was a bloke that was hung.
He was hung in that, but he didn't die.
Hung on that, he was definitely a Chinese. Hung on that, yeah. I remember him now, yeah.
He didn't die, and they said, just hang on a minute whilst we change the rope and that, and he stood there waiting, changed the rope. They tried to, do it again, and didn't work.
It didn't work, right.
So, they got another rope, right? Didn't work. And then they had to let him go, because it's like there's a well-known saying, something from this thing.
Yeah. Have you seen do you like Oh My Car's On by Tim Burton's new single?
I don't know that
It's brilliant. Can we play it a bit later? Yeah, can we play it. Let's play a record now, and we'll talk more a bit later.
Yeah. Hey, Carl, would you shut up?
Oh My Car Is On, Tim Burgess, brilliant. XFM 104.9. Right, well, we're running out of time here. Yeah. We had Carl in a little film, but I think we've really got time for Monkey News, Yeah. What are you thinking, Carl?
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do Monkey News.
Alright.
Play the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that Monkey News.
Right, there's this monkey, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think his name was number 6 or number 7 or something, right, in this lab, right? Yeah. And anyway, it's in there with the rabbits and little mice and stuff like that. And the nurse, right? Not the nurse, the woman who works in the lab. What would you call her? The nurse?
Depends what turns out her job was. If she was a lab assistant, you call her a lab assistant.
Right.
I mean, they probably call her by her name.
Alright, lab assistant, right?
Kirsty.
So she's...
I think it's probably Kirsty.
Right,
Kirsty Morris.
Well, she's in there, right?
Yeah.
And she don't work with many people and that. She's mainly on her own with, just putting lipstick on rabbits and stuff like that, right?
Chimpanzee?
So,
chimpanzee. He's putting on lipstick, chimpanzee. So hairy legs.
He gets pally, right, with this woman.
Yeah.
Because, it gets to a point when she sees him every day.
It's the way he tries to string out like it's a narrative love story. The chimp put his hand out and grabbed her, and then you're thinking that he made a move on her.
So he's allowed out.
It's not a story, is it?
He's allowed out the cage and what have you.
Yeah.
So he's wandering about, and as time goes on, he's watching what she's doing more and more. Yeah. Right. So he notices like the code on the door, right? Whatever, 247 or whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, right, I've clocked that, I've got that, I'll remember that. Right? Yeah. And then he goes, right, there's a lot of lipstick and that knocking about, a lot of makeup.
Right, okay. No, there's no way. No, because Steve, you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen.
So he's there.
It's ridiculous.
And he's going, well, if it's there, you know what I mean? So while she's messing about with the rabbit, he gets there, he's in front of the mirror, putting a little bit of lippy on. Right?
I I know. It's gone too far. No, it's gone too far, Steve.
Right,
Your mic's off, Rick. He's finishing the story.
So-
Show mine off as well.
It's looking pretty good.
I didn't mention the mascara.
It's looking all right? So it knows the code on the door, 247, right? So when she's sort of messing about with the rabbit, right, he goes, right? So it knows the code on the door, 247, right? So when she's sort of messing about with the rabbit, right, he goes, right, here's my chance. He's looking good, 247, out the door, reception man's there, he's like, all right, Kirsty, right?
Talk shit.
I feel free from Cream. That's pretty much the last track, isn't it, guys? I imagine on XFM 104.9.
Well, I mean, I've got nothing to say after that ridiculous story. I mean, that's worse than the bank robbery to me.
Yeah.
That he clocks out, and the bloke on the desk. All right, Kirsty. Oh, you're 2 foot shorter and hairy.
I looked her anyway.
She wasn't a looker anyway. Brilliant. Oh, play it from the Sanctuary. We'll see you next week for the last time for a little
Just got handsome.
Adverts? Oh, I'd love to end with adverts.
See you later. It's brilliant. Going out on a bang. Fortune Faded by Red Hot Chili Peppers on XFM 104.9 with Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington for the last time.
Yes, we've said that before, of course. So don't
Yeah.
get your hopes up.
yeah, we've had some highs, some lows, some laughs, some tears. Karl, are you concentrating?
Not tears, mainly from the audiences.
Yeah. Now, before we get into that, before we get into talking about maybe some of the hijinks we've had, looking back, looking forward as well.
Yeah.
I came in, Karl was sitting at the desk, he went, alright? I went, alright, really? Yeah. He went, see that Alan Clark diaries? I went, no, I didn't. He went, no, a lot of people talking about it. He went, I've never kept a diary. Keeping a diary will always get you into trouble. And I said, like Anne Frank. What did you say, Karl?
The woman in the cupboard?
That's what he said.
The woman in the cupboard.
And I went, save it. Save it.
You never speak to Karl off air. Save it all
I know.
when we're on the wires.
He went, but what did she do? What did she do except be in a cupboard? What did she have to write about? And I said, well, her thoughts. Do you know Anne Frank?
That's all I know about Anne is. There's no point pretending it. That I know stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, tell us everything you know about Anne Frank.
she was in a cupboard.
Yeah, what else?
If she didn't do that, I wouldn't know about her, seriously. That's all I know about her.
Yeah.
So what did she do?
But what how do you think we know about her cupboard because of her book, don't we?
But hang on, what in the bigger scheme of things, why was she in a cupboard?
I don't know.
Right.
I honestly don't know.
You don't know anything else about Anne Frank beyond the fact that, to quote you, she was in a cupboard.
Well, what's she done then? You tell me, why should I know more about her?
Firstly, I don't think she was in a cupboard.
She wasn't in a cupboard. She was in an attic.
Alright.
Yeah.
So what was she doing?
She was hiding from the
Tidying
Nazis. She was hiding from the Nazis.
But isn't that the first place they'd look? Sort of work from the top down.
Carl, they weren't specifically looking for Anne Frank.
They weren't going, where is she?
Where's Frank?
If she gets that book out, we are in a deep shit. We've got to stop the book. They were just looking generally. She was, I think she was 13, 14, she was
Yes.
hiding, she was Jewish and she was hiding just in Amsterdam, didn't she?
Yeah, as much of her family were having to hide,
Yeah.
helped by, friends, non-Jewish.
In a cupboard. A cupboards,
And how long did she sort of hide up there for?
Don't know,
So
long,
she was cool.
long enough to write a book.
So she even got caught after all that?
What do you mean, so she even got caught? We're talking about one of the great, humanist tragedies of our times, and you're going, she couldn't even stay hidden.
What do you mean, did she get caught?
No, I'm just saying, it's not a great tip then, is it? Do you know what I mean? She didn't do it well. She didn't hide until they escaped it. She got
There was
caught.
not a manual on how to hide from people. It's not how to win at
I
hide
don't
and
know
seek.
anything about her, and we might be going down some ground that's a bit dodgy. I don't know enough about it. Maybe it's best just leaving it. All I was saying is diaries. Do you know, what do you do them for? Have you kept them, Steve?
Never kept a diary, no.
Right.
I can understand your fear that it might get discovered, someone might read it, find out all about your inner secrets. Of course, the good thing about you is you tell everyone what you think about them.
Yeah, but...
No one's going to find a diary and go, oh, God.
I can't believe it. Carl doesn't like my haircut.
Yeah. Carl thinks I look like Dave Hill from Slade. Yeah, I told you that, didn't I? Yeah, I told you that.
Do you think they'll last, though, diaries and that? No, because they were a bit of a time killer, weren't they? It was something to do at the end of the day, whereas now there's iPods and that.
It's fantastic! The iPod of Anne Frank.
Yeah.
New from Sony, that'd be great, wouldn't it? All the greatest hits. Who could forget? Oh,
well,
dear.
I didn't believe that then. I didn't know it was that deep. I thought it was just like a,
You thought it was like, didn't you?
Adrian Mole type thing.
Yeah, what are we doing? Thorns, from my favourite album of last year, that. And I can't remember. We'll be doing a bit of that, playing some of our favourite songs. We've got a couple of requests.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of a celebrity request, Matt Lucas from Little Britain, is listening in.
Oh, yeah.
So is it your last show? I said, yeah. I said, do you want me to play a record? Oh, yeah. He said, what's your favourite group? Guess Matt Lucas's favourite group. Now remember, him and David are the new darlings of comedy.
Yeah.
They're cool, they're trendy, everyone loves Little Britain. They're comedy geniuses, they're only going to get bigger. What's his favourite group of all time?
That is tricky. Level 42.
No. Carl, have a guess.
Well, there's going to be something weird in it if you're saying this.
Well.
So, how old's the band?
They're probably about as old as him.
How old's he?
No. Oh, Carl, have a guess.
ABBA.
No, it's, why did you say ABBA?
Good, aren't they?
No, it's The Proclaimers.
The Proclaimers?
Yeah. Really? Yeah. And I know he's listening, but,
There's nothing wrong with the Proclaimers, I just can't imagine anyone getting that excited about them.
I bet that's why he likes you, because you hang out with him, don't you?
I do hang out with him.
He thinks it's like the closest thing. He knows one of the Proclaimers.
Wait till he meets my twin brother.
Yeah, he's going to have a field day, isn't he?
It.
Yeah. So I was honest. I said I can't play the Proclaimers, but we're playing another.
Where did they come? Because I don't really remember the Proclaimers particularly from when I was young.
Well, let me give you a little blast. I give a little but in two-part harmony.
Of course.
That was the main
They were
thing.
very popular for a while, weren't they?
I think they had sort of 3 big hits in sort of like 1980. What was it?
Yeah. Oh, I forget.
80s.
Scottish. They did sing in Scottish accents, which I thought was quite refreshing. They didn't do the fake American thing.
No, that was good. Yeah.
But again, I just can't imagine sort of being in that. When would I be in the mood to put on a Proclaimers record?
Well, you've run out of Crankies stuff, I
I
suppose.
guess so, yeah.
If you've played all your Crankies records, there's
and the Muppets album.
Yeah. Pop on the Proclaimers. Now, we were talking before the break about Anne Frank in her cupboard.
Yes.
Now,
I'm still a little bit concerned that Carl's not quite got his head around Anne Frank's diary. Yeah. It's not like a children's book. It's not like The Lion, Anne Frank and the Wardrobe.
No.
She doesn't go into a fantasy land when she goes into the attic.
I'm just glad that old Mother Hubbard didn't help the Nazis.
Sure.
Because that's the first place she'd look.
Yeah.
Isn't it? The Nazis go, we've got on with her, but she thinks she knows where she is.
Yeah.
She'd have gone straight there.
I think with Hubbard, it's like, if I just briefly mention Hubbard. Now Hubbard goes to the cupboard to get, I can't remember exactly.
Poor dog a bone.
She goes to get the dog
a bone. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had
Is there more to that than cause that's what I remember. Is there further verses? Does she finally get a bone? Does she go on in the adventure?
What, you mean the second verse is, then she looked in the fridge and realised that's where she kept the bones, and so the dog was laughing.
Exactly.
No, there isn't another verse.
That's all of it.
I think so. I went to the cupboard to get a bottle of bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had none. No, I think that's the end of it. I think it's a moral. I think it's a moral that.
What's the moral?
Well, if you got a dog, keep some bones in the cupboard.
Right. Because I always, even as a kid, I remember thinking that it's quite a tragic sort of picture they paint. I imagine maybe she's lost
short,
her.
Isn't it?
It is short.
It's isn't it? That's amazing.
But I always wondered whether perhaps she's had a nervous breakdown. Maybe her husband's died recently. She's just not got any food.
She doesn't know. She
doesn't really know what's going on. The dog's yapping away. Eventually, she kind of wakes out of this kind of depressed stupor. She goes to the cupboard. There's nothing there. It's just a really depressing, morbid sort of tell. I don't know if maybe it's originated from something in history. I know that Jack and Jill went up the hill and they fell down again.
That's a story about illicit lovers.
That was apparently based on that.
If you have a lot of something, you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky?
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't
properly? Sorry, but Carl, what are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't properly.
Have you started making words up?
Right. Yeah, you Stanley Unwin, reincarnated. Demicky? Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Where? Where is this?
Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah. If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm not sure.
It's either Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Well, these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So that's why they're heading albino buying one of them.
Okay.
So what would happen is people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back then when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone, say, I'm after an elephant, and the fellow would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
This elephant is white with blue eyes.
Right.
This is great.
So that fellow who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant, and he'd get it back, and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff, and what we're doing and stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, where have you bought that from? And he'd say, I got it off that fella. And he goes,
all this embellishing nonsense. Come on with the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? He said, it's only albino, isn't it? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that. You shouldn't.
It steals from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, I'm sick of this and I'm going to abandon it or anything, because elephants were seen as like pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant that's an albino, couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way. So they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, got a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. It's like that time in my life that I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face. What was all that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants? What is it? They had blue eyes. What are you? Albinos have red eyes for a start.
That's it. We've run out of time.
What? What are you going to do about this next week? Are you going to actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you going to make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.
Will it be any good next week? Tune in and find out on XFM 104.9. Chili Peppers on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Don't be nervous. We might see a difference in Karl. He's a little bit shy. There's someone in the BBC filming this, part of that celebrity boxing thing. The Fight, I think it's called, and they want to get a little clip of this, so we're going to let them film for a minute, and then they're going to go away. Is that alright, Karl?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be on camera, do you? Do you?
I think it ruins radio, doesn't it?
Well, not for the people listening, it doesn't.
Yeah, but it does, because people are like, he sounds like a bit of a looker.
What you do?
Yeah. And then they'll see it on the telly, and they'll go, God, yeah, his head is round.
It is round, though, isn't it?
So,
guess what? I got a call yesterday. You'll love this, Steve. From MTV, and they were wondering if they could screen test Karl.
That's outrageous.
I'm loving it, and I was going, and I said, yeah, it is fine. I'll come down with him, and I was saying, what about this now? They were loving it. I called him up and went, oh no. I went, why not? He went, well, I'm looking at my reflection now in the mirror. He said, I shouldn't be on the telly.
What would you wear for your screen test, Karl? What kind of look would you try and cultivate? Because you've got to bear in mind that the audience out there, they don't know what you look like. So, would you be a snappy dresser like, say, Jonathan Ross, or would you go for your kind of street cash look?
Can't wear a suit.
You can't wear a suit?
Don't hold it well.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm thinking, I don't know, I'll probably wear my woolly hat, because that takes some years off me.
It does, he looks about 10 with a woolly hat on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
is it quite a cool woolly hat, or has it got a bubble?
it's charcoal, I'd say it's the in colour.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll probably wear my anorak.
Right.
Oh, he's going for glam. He's going for quite a glam look.
No one
Dressed
else
for a jumble sale. Wow. Yeah.
I'm not that happy about it all, to be honest.
Are you going to do it? You're not going to do it?
Well, I'm sort of stuck in the middle, because throughout my life so far, I've never planned for anything, right? It's just always happened.
Yeah.
The time, you know what I mean, being in plays at school, never planned it, but when I did it, I went down a storm.
It was a trial, yeah, we all remember that.
So...
As I remember, you did Little Donkey.
Did Little Donkey, yeah.
And then later, someone was filming at the back. Was it your dad's mate?
My dad's mate. Well,
Yeah, and on the camcorder, he listened to it back, watched him playing it. His dad says, just off camera, what does he say?
I don't want to say it because I'm in charge of the show and it'd be irresponsible.
He looks like a right twat.
So,
And so he gets home, just watching that, and then here's his dad just off camera go, he looks like a right twat. What are you worried about? Your dad saying that?
Can I just interject? Because I'm really worried about this idea of Karl being on MTV. Because the problem is that, you know, let's be honest, Rick. I mean, we're getting by the skin of our teeth, aren't we? Really, it's only Karl that's keeping this afloat.
Yeah.
And if he gets on MTV and the world sort of gets a sense of him and they understand him, and he won't be ours anymore. We won't be able to control him. It'll be out there. It'll be in the.
Well, that's the thing. No, that's the thing. That's the terrible thing, though, isn't it? It's like Karl is my pet, but I realise I've got to release him into the wild. And you know, because I love him, I know he's got to go free.
Sure.
But I want to.
It's like Kez. Maybe someone will beat him to death, and we won't have to worry.
I'll have you on though. I'll have you on as a guest. Which gets me on to something we've got coming up today.
Oh yeah, he's got a new idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know, like, I've talked about ghosts, and we had that good discussion the other week walking to the Circus Station, and I was telling you about ghosts, and you were saying, Karl, don't be an idiot, and all that. I spoke to a woman in the week, done a little interview with
You've done a little interview?
Done a little interview, 2 minutes or so. With a woman who's got ghosts in her house. So
I look forward to hearing that later. That sounds brilliant.
Coming up later.
Well, I'm going to play a classic tune now. I've just gone straight for it. I've gone for the jugular. This is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, me Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Karl's also nervous. You had a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in
to the show.
Yeah. And Karl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. He used to do radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because of the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along to it.
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told them since, but they promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my dad said, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kind of going, Alex. So he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV, and what's he going to make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I just press the buttons.
No, it's just, you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really? Yeah. So what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan? No,
just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to me dad once, I think, and sort of said, oh, you go to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing. I thought, what are you talking about? So there's a parents' evening, so he went
to what kid?
He went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she? Yeah. I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well.
She'd turn on to MTV when, I don't know, like their slamming session.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, that's young Pilkington. He's bald, but it's definitely him.
I recognise that woolly hat.
yeah. Did you see Celebrity Fit Club yesterday?
I missed it. I didn't watch any TV this week. The only TV I watched was Are You Good in Bed? I already knew the answer.
What was it? You had to have to tick points?
Yeah.
Right.
It was no. I was off the scale.
Well, talking off the scales, Rick Waller.
Really? Is he off?
What he did is he lost weight and they couldn't believe it. He had a big argument with Harvey and they said go, never come back to it. Right? And then he got to weigh and then he'd lost sort of like 10 pounds or something. And they were really. They said, you've been starving yourself, haven't you? And he admitted it. And,
I thought he just wasn't wearing his underpants.
yeah. But it was whinging all the time. He was watching it. He was doing it at press. It was going, I've hurt my arm. He was going, I feel sick. And he was going, and he was just lying all the time about whether he was doing the routine and what he was eating and stuff. And I thought, that's me.
Yeah,
this celebrity box. It is, because it's sort of like, and they go, how's it going? Do you have a drink this week? And I go, no. Haven't had a beer this week. No. Did you do the exercise today? And I go, yeah, I've done all that. Yeah. And I try and get out of the sparring because it hurts, because there's a man hitting me in the face for fun.
Right. Because you know that's what boxing is.
Yeah, that is being hit, yeah. I like all the bits, except the being hit. I don't even mind hitting someone.
Right,
I'd be willing to hit someone. It's the getting hit that I don't like.
Because I know you're a big fan of like wearing the clothes, the sort of sporty gear.
I'm looking good, aren't I?
You look good, and you've obviously switched.
But they gave me
free
this for training. This was free for training.
That's a perk you love.
So,
and I know you like kind of the sort of various sort of nutritional drinks you've got. I know you're a big fan of those.
I love the protein shake because it tastes like chocolate. You know what? I've put on a couple of pounds since I've been doing this training. I think it is the extra meal. And
so you're adding the protein, but not working out enough to take it off again.
Yeah, but I think I've actually changed a bit. I've got an inch on my chest, but an inch off my waist. So even though I've put on weight, there must be a little bit of muscle happening somewhere.
So just to recap that slightly, you're enjoying all the trappings of boxing, but not the boxing,
not the getting hit in the nose.
Right,
that's the one.
And you are aware that that's what will be happening during the actual.
No, because I've got a cunning plan.
Okay.
I'm gonna duck and dive. I'm bob and weave, dance. I'm gonna dance.
Well, I read in the paper yesterday, I don't know how much truth there is, that Grant Bovey has recruited celebrity hypnotist Paul McKenna to help him win.
Yeah,
so I
don't
know if that's really true. Because I know you've got Spit the Dog. You've got a couple of ventriloquists and an impressionist on your side.
I've got Paul Boy from Desmond.
Exactly.
Just getting me tuned
in your corner.
Mentally. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's all a bit of fun.
What do you reckon, Carl? Do you think he's...
what's McKenna going to be doing? Is like Grant Bovey going to be turned into a chicken and... You know what I mean?
He's going to do an Elvis impression.
Yeah.
And
if I say the right words.
No, I think he's probably going to just help him focus and...
So I think there's lots of sports psychologists out there at the moment getting people. So I'm sure it's valid. If it's true, I'm sure it's fine. But I've been getting tuned mentally, learning how to hit.
Yeah,
that was my method. Eating and hitting, I think is.
And do you work out to any of the music? I mean, do you put on the Rocky soundtrack? Because I know you've got a CD with music from all 5 films, haven't you?
No, we don't. It's I think they have the radio on down there, but you don't hear it. All you hear is people shouting, saying things like, "That's not like a fighter," and me going, "I'm not a fighter. I'm a comedian."
And is it quite intimidating down there? I mean, do they?
Yeah.
I'm sure they make people, but
I'm getting used to it now. But it is a different world, and I was quite scared, and I didn't.
When you say I mean, is it like they're gangsters? I mean, is it kind of?
No,
I just mean, is it got that feel? You know, when you see it in films, they walk into those places, and you know, they're hard nuts, and there's that feel like.
Well, they're all they're all ex-boxers and stuff. So yeah, I mean, but no, they're not. No, that's not what I mean.
I suppose it's like they're real men.
Well, yeah, and they don't understand really that I don't like getting hit on the nose. And they say, well, no one gets hit on the nose. And it took me a long time to get over that. Just taking a couple of punches. I wanted to rule it out. And but you know, it's okay now. And of course I know they're mollycoddling me. They're not. They're using about 25% power, and I'm still.
And you wear the headgear, do you?
Oh yeah, and the gum shield. Yeah, I wanted to wear a crash helmet, but they said no. I carry a baseball bat, and they said that's technically illegal. But I'm looking forward to a changed man, Carl. What we got coming up?
Got a bit of a Death in Vegas with vocals from Liam Gallagher.
Final question for you, Rick. Do you think you'll carry on boxing after this is finished?
Competitively?
No, just the training and stuff.
Yeah, I do the training. Yeah, no, I love the training. I love learning the skills, and I do enjoy the training. I don't relish getting punched around. And I'm not worried about the fight at all. I'm really looking forward to the fight, because Grant's a novice like me. It's just when you get in with an ex-pro who, you know, could destroy you so you're scared of it. And you know, they never lose their rag, and they're really cool, and they're really nice, and they've never even hit me by mistake. But even just tapping you like that in the face hurts.
I was walking down Finchley Road yesterday, and a couple of sixth formers said, "Oh, you lanky goggle-eyed freak," and I just wondered if maybe you could pop round and have a word with them.
I will.
Some of your friends.
An enemy of yours is an enemy of mine.
Good.
Scorpio Rising, Death in Vegas on XFM 104.9, Steve. I'm Ricky Gervais. Carl's a little bit less stressed now. The camera crew have gone, his dad's not listening, we think.
Well, who knows?
But you're chilled.
I tell you what though, my mum was loving it. Do you know Rockbusters?
Do I know Rockbusters? I love Rockbusters. I think I dream of it.
She was taking part. I mean, she doesn't know a lot of the new bands and that, but she made some up for some older bands and that.
Oh, she did some herself?
She made some herself, sent them in the post.
So are you going to use those today?
She's not quite got the hang of it. So,
unlike her genius son.
Have you got them there? Can we hear what they are?
You keep talking a second then.
I'm quite excited. I mean, if they're even approaching, say, the genius of Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah.
There was another one which was something to do with a trench, Carl. What was that?
That was Dandy Warhol's. That was a good one.
Dandy Warhol.
I think that was his finest moment. Yeah.
Incidentally, I've had an email here from someone called Sauda, if that's a he or a she. But let's assume it's a she, just for glam's sake.
Yeah.
She said she saw an old man eating a Twix last week, Carl, so that blows your theory out.
I'm not having it.
Okay. So if you are a bloke, he's calling you a liar. So maybe you want a little rumble later?
In fact, if you are a bloke, he's calling you a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, then. These are ones that my mum's made up.
Brilliant.
Right, just in case you're a new listener, I'll give some initials out and a cryptic clue. And it makes up a band, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or a solo act.
Yeah, not so much cryptic as what you're thinking. Well, go on.
My mum sent this one. This group would be good at doing your hair.
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
Is there a group called the Hairdressers from the 60s?
Would be good at doing
what?
your hair.
TP.
Is it the something?
The Platters.
The Platters.
Yeah, that's alright.
That's alright.
Nice.
Let's have a look. This group sound like dinosaurs.
Group sound like dinosaurs?
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah, I see what you mean. They're not so much cryptic, are they?
This group.
Leave her alone. They're good.
This group likes being by the sand and the sea.
This group likes being by the
They're the Beach Boys, boy.
Beach Boys.
This band are called the Beatles. The Beatles.
Hang on. We just have
What else you got?
It's funny because one of them that she's done, I'm actually doing today. I thought of in the week.
Right?
So,
is it the same clip?
It was, yeah.
Wow, great minds think alike.
Here's
So
the
this is
last
obviously
one.
coincidence.
Here's the last one from her. This guy sounds superb.
This guy sounds superb.
The Bachelors.
Glenn Campbell.
That's good. I like that.
I'd tell you this. I think you should get onto one of the big game organisations, Parker Brothers or whatever, because this has got to be. I mean, this could sweep the nation at Christmas. Don't you think this is the perfect Christmas game?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is what's going to make or break the MTV thing.
Right. Some kind of TV version.
Yeah. I'm just thinking into ad breaks. Coming up next is this band.
Be careful though, Carl, because make sure you retain the rights, because I can see this selling abroad.
And I can see someone coming along and taking the sort of like the Rockbusters and changing one word and making another game out of it and just using the same format. I don't know. I can't think of another, but they could change. So sort of like they change the word rock to something else and have it.
What could it be? Brick block.
Yeah, and so you know what I mean. So be careful.
Blockbusters will never work.
Look at his little face.
So we're doing that later. Got some good prizes.
Okay. We'll talk about the prizes after.
In a bit.
Yeah.
Educating Ricky.
Yeah, got that.
We've got the woman who's got a ghost in her house.
Yeah. It's a shame she's not here live, because I feel like I want to ask a few questions, Rick. I don't know about you.
Don't worry, I've covered it all.
You've covered it all, God.
Yeah. Play a record.
Rick, I know probably you, like me, are just too busy really to keep abreast of new music, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, we're busy people, we've got, important showbiz parties to go to and stuff. That's why I have friends of mine who send me compilations and stuff. That's one of my quarterly compilations from my friend Harry, and that's All Downhill From Here by Jim O'Rourke.
I've got a new track coming up later, actually, that I think you might like. So, we're inflaming each other's desire for new songs as well as going back to the back catalogue, some classics.
Sure.
Alright? I love adverts better though.
Sure, I do.
I love adverts.
It's weird.
Missy Elliott on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais with me, Steve and Carl. Carl, why have you got a headache? You got a headache?
Just a bit stressful because the moves on this week.
Are you okay?
Oh, by the way, the XFM listeners came round to my house and brought the feet on the table.
Did they?
Were they happy with it?
Quite normal. They were well happy.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe the luck with it.
What do you mean quite normal? What do you mean quite normal?
Well, it's always a bit scared, isn't it, getting people round.
I imagine they were scared.
And were they excited to see you? Could they? I mean, could you tell that they were pretty pleased to see you?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
you're Karl Pilkington.
Yeah, but the fellas sort of. I mean, they brought the whole family round, which was a bit odd.
Well, it's not often they get the chance to visit a living freak.
Anyway, no, they were nice.
And you're moving now, yeah? He said he'd phone me up today. You know, it was absolutely tipping it down. He had to cycle in. Because he said, because of the move, he doesn't want to leave his bike round there. And he said, and Suzanne, I can't say this in case he's listening, can I?
He won't know.
He said Suzanne's hired the oldest removal man in London.
You should hear him. And the thing is, right, we booked him because everyone else happened to be booked out, but this fella's free, right? So he called up this morning. I've never spoke to him, but he was on the phone. He sounded about 90.
Yeah. I can't believe he's going to have to do all the work.
And the thing is, it seems to be
all he
cheap.
wanted some Werther originals.
Right, listen, it seems to be cheap because it's £50 an hour. But how long is it going to take him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
When's the move on then? When's the
He's coming round. He came round today to bring some empty boxes, and he was struggling with them. So it actually happened on Wednesday.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Rich, I noticed that you were laughing almost at the heart attack. Doesn't bode well for the boxing.
I can't for the moment, I've had my lemsip.
Anyway, what are we doing now, Carl?
Well, I teased you with it before.
Are you going to get it out again?
I'm always like trying to get you, thinking, opening your mind a bit to ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
So this woman who I know, she said she'd come in and I could interview her to try and sort of, get the belief out there.
Okay.
So
because there's not enough belief in the occult and rubbish out there.
So does she think she has a ghost?
She has, yeah. She's had a few.
She has, no, it's fact. Yes, she has.
So I thought maybe it's a new feature we could try for a couple of weeks, see how it goes down. Mm-hmm. You know Parkinson?
Uh-huh.
What about Pilkington? Welcome to Pilkington. My guest today is Taryn. She's a plugger. You're still a plugger, aren't you?
No, I do co-management.
Right, she does co-management, but she was a plugger. She looked after Therapy, Raging Speed On, Slash, all the big names, yeah? But we're not here to talk about music today. We do a lot of that on XFM. Today we're talking ghosts. Now, Ricky and Steve, who I do the show with, they're not having any of it. So I said, well, I know someone who, gets on with ghosts. There's a lot of them. So I thought I'd get you in today, have a little chat for a couple of minutes, just to sum up the story so they get an idea of what happened. You had a horse, yeah? You had it in some stables.
He hasn't let her speak yet.
You went to, look after it and that, play around with it, took it for a ride and that.
Riding.
Yeah? Two of your mates were in the stable where your horse is.
Not my stable, in the opposite stable.
In the opposite stable.
And I heard them giggling and
they're messing about and that, yeah. You heard them having a laugh. So you thought, right, what are they up to? So you go in and they're messing about with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Right. So this is where you come in. Did you get involved with the Ouija board?
Unfortunately, I did.
Right. And what happened then?
I was like, oh, you don't believe in this? Oh, let me have a go.
Right.
And ask a few questions, put our hands on, and it actually started moving.
So a lot of the stuff you asked it, did the things happen that you asked?
Yes, they did.
Right. So that's scary for a start, right? We haven't even got to the ghost bit yet. So you mess about
Trap
with that.
soul,
Yeah.
I like to call
Right,
it.
trap soul. So you're messing about on the Ouija board. You say, right, I've had enough of this now.
Yeah.
I've got all the answers I need.
Yeah.
You go home.
I didn't like them.
You go in the house, and it's a bit nippy.
The flat is absolutely fine. It's when I went into the bedroom. You've got to remember, it's a very, very warm, hot evening.
Right.
And walk into the bedroom and note it is cold, colder than usual. But I'm actually quite glad because it's so hot.
Right, okay.
Completely ignored the fact that the windows were all shut but the curtains were blowing. Didn't sleep well at all.
Right.
Next evening, same again.
Freezing.
Yeah, very, very noticeably cold.
Curtains blowing.
Yeah, I fast asleep, get woken up, the wardrobe's opening.
So at this point, this is where we clear up. You're not on crack. You're not.
Oh, never touched drugs in my entire life.
You're not a drinker.
No. I would have the odd glass of red wine.
Yeah, right. That's all right. They recommend that anyway. They say it's good for your heart.
What started happening was, as the week progressed, I also felt the bed covers at one point at night fold over, double bed, the bed covers fold over, and it was like someone was getting in the bed next to me.